He was crowned king before he could speak, dethroned before he could walk. And for the rest of his life, he would struggle to understand whether he had ever truly ruled at all. This is the story of Puyi, the boy who became king in China and died in penury as a humble gardener. In November 1908, at just 2 years old, Puyi was chosen by the dying Empress Dowager Cixi to ascend the dragon throne of the Qing dynasty. Puyi was forcibly removed from his family, and only a nurse accompanied him to the Forbidden City, the center of power in the Qing dynasty. He was barely old enough to sit up on his own, yet suddenly he was emperor of 400 million people. Puyi cried throughout his coronation as he did not understand what was happening around him. Behind high walls and golden curtains, Puyi ruled in name only. Court eunuchs fed him, dressed him, and bowed to him. But outside the Forbidden City, revolution brewed. Unsurprisingly, he quickly became spoilt as his every whim was kowtowed to. Palace staff were unable to discipline him because of the rigid hierarchies of palace life. By 1912, the tides of history crashed into the Forbidden City. The Xinhai Revolution swept through China, and the dynasty that had ruled for over 250 years fell. At just 6 years old, Puyi was forced to abdicate, ending 2,000 years of imperial rule. But strangely, he was allowed to stay, living in royal isolation inside the Forbidden City, a ghost of the empire. For 12 more years, Puyi lived within the Forbidden City as a retired emperor. He rode bikes in silk robes, played with clocks, and was tutored in English by a Scottish man named Reginald Johnston. But he also grew angry, resentful. Outside, China was modernizing. Inside, he still saw himself as a god king. In 1922, it was decided Puyi should be married. He was given photographs of potential brides and told to pick one. His first choice was rejected as only being suitable to be a concubine. His second choice was the teenage daughter of one of Manchuria's richest aristocrats, Gabulo Wanrong. The pair were betrothed in March 1922 and married that autumn. The first time the teenagers met was at their wedding, and this shows just how much his life was controlled. In 1924, a warlord evicted him from the Forbidden City. Puyi, now 18, walked out of his palace and into exile. Desperate to regain power, Puyi accepted an offer from Imperial Japan. In 1932, they installed him as Emperor of Manchukuo, a puppet state in northeast China. But behind the pomp, he was a figurehead. The Japanese dictated every move. He signed decrees he didn't understand, watched as his empire was looted and oppressed. His rule was a cruel illusion. And when World War II ended, that illusion shattered. Captured by the Soviets in 1945, Puyi was treated as a war criminal. Later in 1950, he was extradited to Mao Zedong's China. At the Fushun War Criminals Management Center, he was re-educated. The former emperor scrubbed toilets, washed floors, and attended Marxist lectures. After 9 years of transformation, PWI wrote a confession. The Communist Party declared him reformed. In 1959, he was pardoned. Puyi returned to Beijing as an ordinary citizen, worked as a gardener and street sweeper at the Beijing Botanical Gardens, later as a researcher in a literature department. Tourists once bowed to him, but now he bowed to history. In 1964, he published his memoirs, died just 2 years later. Not in a palace, but in a hospital bed, in a new China he barely understood. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe for more history that hits deep.